And Larry Holmes fighting the fighters we thought were most similar to David Bey. 7 years ago against Norton, he was throwing 65 punches around. Against Jerry Cooney, almost 3 years ago, 40 punches around. And also against Bone Crusher Smith, 40 punches around. The surprising thing about all that, he has landed exactly 20 punches around in all of those fights. So his claim that he's more efficient and more economical as a fighter is true. And here are his jabs. He threw 42 per round against Norton, 26 in these other two fights, and he landed 13 jabs in each of those fights per round. Once again, more economical and efficient. Now, David Bey, in his only fight against a world-class fighter, Greg Page, threw 32 punches per round and landed approximately half of them. He says he wants to throw twice as many in this fight. That remains to be seen. Page was a fighter who moved away from him more than Holmes will. It's conceivable he will throw more punches in this fight.
All right, so those are all the numbers. What's left then is to get getting. And now for the pre-fight announcements, let's go up to ring announcer Chuck Hall.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Riviera Hotel, where tonight Don King Productions, in association with the Riviera, presents Perseverance, the grand finale. These bouts are sanctioned by the Nevada State Athletic Commission, Sig Rogich chairman, with commissioners at ringside this evening, Mr. Dwayne Ford, Mr. Freddie Little, Mr. Sammy Macias, and Mr. Art Lurie. Representing the IBF at ringside this evening, Mr. Jimmy Rondo. The officials assigned by the Nevada State Athletic Commission for the next bout of the evening, the judges are Dalby Shirley of Las Vegas, Harold Letterman of New York City, and Tim McDonough of Tacoma, Washington. The timekeeper is Jane Broadfoot. Counting in the knockdowns, Al Bisick. The attending physicians at ringside is Dr. Donald Romeo and Dr. Charles Filippini. The referee for the next contest is Carlos Padilla. This is the main event of the evening. 15 rounds of boxing for the IBF World Heavyweight Championship. Introducing, in the blue corner, the challenger, fighting out of Middlefield, Ohio, weighing 233 1/4 pounds. His professional record consists of 14 wins, no defeats, with 11 KOs. He is the USBA heavyweight champion. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing David Bey. And in the red corner, fighting out of Easton, Pennsylvania, weighing 223 1/2 pounds. He is undefeated in his professional career with 46 wins, no defeats, and 33 KOs. Ladies and gentlemen, here is the IBF heavyweight champion of the world, Larry Holmes.
So there are all the participants in this one. Larry Holmes, Ray, looks all business right at the moment.
Well, on the back is rolled. This is it. And we will see.
On David Bey's left arm, a tattoo that says Bey, but says B-A-Y. The reason he says he has that, he says people always mispronounce my name, so I'm not going to have any doubt about it. I'll put it right on my body.
I wonder if the tattoo artist blew it and he's just compensating for it.
Only man with a typo in a three-letter word. Here's the instructions.
Of boxing. Avoid using any kinds of foul. Don't throw any punches during the break. Is that clear? Any question? Let's have a good fight. Okay. So let's come out fighting.
Larry Holmes says let's have a good fight. David Bey, no conversation. Carlos Padilla, of course, very experienced referee.
One thing I want to point out here, as I said earlier, David Bey's weakness is down the middle because he throws wide punches. He may try what Tim Witherspoon did, which is to use his right hand as a foil, much because Witherspoon and he have had the same trainer.
The most technical approach for David Bey is to get inside of Larry Holmes, make him work, make him exchange punches. On the outside, I don't think he has that much of a chance.
David Bey, left hook followed by a looping right hand, sends Holmes into the ropes. I don't think he was hurt.
And like Larry stated earlier about being a steamroller, David Bey, Larry Holmes cannot let David Bey get momentum.
Carlos Padilla said, close your gloves. He was hitting Larry Holmes with an open hand.
your grab, David.
Wild left hand by David Bey. Bey did get tired in the later rounds against Greg Page. Feeling out process going on here. I'm sure Larry Holmes wants to see what's in front of him. He is not a notoriously quick starter.
You notice what David Bey is doing, just pretty much just popping that jab out, nothing hard. Normally, our guys try to set his man up for a right hand.
Short left hook by David Bey, caught mostly by the gloves of Larry Holmes. Holmes has seen it all, there's no question about it.
What I see in David Bey, and which is a bad mistake and bad habit, is our right hand. You notice our right hand is right on his chin. So a good left hook thrown by Larry Holmes will land perfectly. But he definitely has the timing.
David Bey historically has had to get business done early if he was to do business. And we'll see if that's the case now that he has a little bit of experience.
Larry Holmes working his left jab.
Wild right hand.
Like Larry said, he's now just trying to take his time and make every punch count. He's picking his shots now.
And just kind of flicking off David Bey's jab, which has largely been ineffective here in the first round. 30 seconds remaining, first round.
Larry's best shot is he throws that left jab to the body, comes over with the overhand right.
Neither man really scoring here in the first round. Workmanlike round for the champion. At the bell.
David Bey not being as aggressive and reckless as he was expected to be in that round.
He's trying to carry his right hand over like Tip Witherspoon. Double your jab. Try to come off with your hook.
Keep pulling back.
Right.
Can't get it anyway.
Larry Holmes threw only 29 punches, but was landing 50%.
Yeah, up and down.
Percentage he's been landing in his recent fights, mainly because David Bey didn't come to him as much as he expected.
One more.
Eddie Futch was advising Holmes in that round to throw a double up on his jab and then throw some hooks. But the thing is, Larry Holmes has never been a hooking fighter. And that's why Bey can keep his right hand in front of his chin.
A lot of experience in the corners of both these people. Bobby Lewis in the corner of David Bey, and of course Eddie Futch, the veteran, in the corner of Larry Holmes. Holmes talking to David Bey, and I think what he said was, watch your head. Very apparent that Holmes is just trying to pick his spots here early on.
Well, he's throwing a jab to the body often because it's a large target, and it's very difficult to miss the body. The head, a lot of times, you know, it's difficult to land a punch.
Punching right hand by Larry Holmes. You can see him kind of sit back and wait for that.
It's a dangerous attempt by David Bey. He left himself wide open.
Bey just pawing with the left hand. Missed with that right.
Larry Holmes just pulled him back just enough to get out of the way of the right hand, David Bey's right hand.
And now Holmes brings the jab up to the head of David Bey. Holmes effective with that jab. He's moving it around pretty well.
Well, he's starting to measure. That was a very good right hand by Larry Holmes. What he's doing, Barry, he's starting to measure David Bey. He'll pop his left jab to the body, up to the head. What happens, Bey rushes in with his head first.
Bay's jab absolutely ineffective here.
Larry Holmes loses his shoulder very well then. And basically, Larry Holmes now is just trying to counterpunch. And what I mean when I say counterpunch, when a fighter throws a punch, the other guy retaliates, especially when he makes this guy miss. This is another good opportunity to counterpunch. Right, as Bey throws that left jab, he brings it back too slow and also drops it. Good time to counterpunch.
That was a good left hand by Bey. He has Holmes hurt. Out of nowhere, David Bey with a good, solid punch.
That time, David Bey was able to counter Larry.
And Bey tried to bomb Larry Holmes. He had him hurt for a moment.
I'm watching Larry's facial expression. He's keeping calm. And that is the key. You can't get too excited.
He has been there on many occasions.
That's when the experience comes in.
Holmes does not appear hurt any longer. He was definitely stunned by the punch of David Bey.
I think Bey blew a great opportunity, a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
Another good left hook by David Bey.
David Bey landed the best punch of the fight so far, but he didn't do much else in that round. And you have to wonder right now, is he showing too much respect for Holmes, or is the plan to be more deliberate now so that he can come on later?
All right, look.
Let's see that punch and how it lands. There's a left hand, and Holmes backing away, back right into that punch, Ray.
Well, that's a mistake that Larry's making. He's backing straight up, and he's giving Bey momentum.
We've seen it from 3 angles, and it was the same hard punch right to the point of the chin.
This shot with the combination to hit that right hand down in the body, you got it. Just work what you've been doing. Work the way you've been doing, right? It's the upper body movement, and the hands is busy. That jab worked. Yeah. Let's go.
Ray, I'm continually amazed that the only effective corners I've ever seen in the sport of boxing are where there is one voice being heard. You just got a good example of that. Bobby Lewis, the only man in the corner of David Bey, was doing any talking.
It can be quite confusing when a corner, too many guys talking in the corner. Larry Holmes now is on his toes.
And Bey countering by doing the same thing, actually.
This is really the signs of a good fighter, a great champion, because he's changing his tactics now, trying to see which is more effective.
Bey with that right hand that you can see coming. Doesn't exactly disguise that right hand. Holmes on his bicycle now, just showing David Bey a different look, different side, both figuratively and literally.
Larry has to move. He's moving one way. He should be moving both ways, left and right. Because those looping punches that are thrown by David Bey can land. That was the same punch that Snipes put Holmes down with.
Wild left hand by David Bey again, and Holmes comes back on if it misses with a combination. Here's just a slight bit of swelling under the left eye of Larry Holmes. There won't be any problem right at the moment.
The kind of punches that Bey throws, there's 2 ways to get away from it. Number one, you can step into it, because quite naturally by being an old, looping punch, it's not going to land effectively, or you can dance away, like Larry Holmes is trying to, he's been trying to do.
Right hand just got a piece of the face of Larry Holmes. And Bey continues to bring his punches. Good right hand counter punch by Larry Holmes hurt David Bey. So to say, Bey punches sort of east and west, while Holmes is moving north and south.
Just then, David Bey put both feet together. And it's very easy to get knocked down that way.
Both men so far seem to be in pretty good condition. Nobody seems to be any more tired than they were at the opening bell.
with Bey, Larry Holmes can't just lay back. He has to be consistent. And keep this man busy. Keep him thinking.
Holmes has picked up the tempo here in this third round as we wind down toward the end of round number 3.
Holmes landed an awfully good punch on Bey in that round, and Bey didn't budge, didn't flinch. You'd never know he'd been hit, which means that this could be a very long fight.
Take it. Knock him out. Knock him out now.
Take a big breath in. That's it.
You're bad, man. You're bad. You knocked him out. Knock him out.
That's it. Better one in. Come on.
All right? You knocked him out now.
Not too much water. You're okay.
Double up the jab once in a while, champ. And try your 1-2. You haven't tried the right hand behind your jab.
Just set it up.
Yeah, just set it up. Okay.
Because you made him use his legs already. He didn't want to use them this early. All right. Okay.
Round 4, baby.
Oh, yeah?
There you see
Yeah,
David
more
Bey's
go. Oh, man.
statistics with 26 punches in that round, fewer than he threw in the Page fight. His corner seems satisfied that he's making Holmes work harder than he really wants to. Let's see if that's true.
It was a funny thing that David Bey said. He said, just the 4th round, I have 11 more rounds to go.
Bobby Lewis also said you made him use his legs that round, and that was true as Holmes was up on his toes and had to move around a little bit. Sounds as though David Bey's corner might be gambling on the fact that Larry Holmes is not in peak condition. A little bit of red under the left eye of David Bey now, too. No cuts, but just a little bit of redness. And a right hand, they say no knockdown. It was a slip. I didn't think it was that good a right hand.
No, it was a slip.
In Bey's corner, they were saying, go ahead and knock him out. Just go ahead and knock him out. Easier said than done.
Bey is a dangerous type of a fighter. First of all, he's very strong, and his punches are not really straight. And each punch can really hurt.
Bey continues to have that right hand right across his jaw. There was this good right hand, and it stood Larry Holmes straight up, and he doubled up with it. Holmes does not appear hurt, but he did get his attention.
One thing about it, too, that right hand, he put everything behind it. David Bey put everything behind that right hand. One thing about Bey, I see it in his eyes. He is thinking.
Bey throwing a little more in combination now, too, Ray.
Well, he saw the right hand gets through. Then he just walked away. And he see the right hand starting to land. He's able to get through Larry Holmes' defense.
Holmes stays right in front of him, however. Good exchange right there. Bey got the better of it. One upstairs, one downstairs.
Bey just became a counter-puncher. Larry threw his punch. David Bey gave him shoulder and came back with his own right hand.
Bey a little bit more work here in this round. Solid jab by Larry Holmes right on the nose of David Bey. Still a little swelling under the left eye of Bey.
Good jab by Larry. He has to keep that up, Barry.
And just as Larry Holmes was doing in the first couple of rounds, David Bey now seems to be just waiting for his shot.
Bey seems to be waiting for the throw that right hand. Just release it. There he tried it.
Carlos Padilla separates him from off the ropes. We come near the end of the 4th round.
The surprising thing in this fight so far is that David Bey has been able to avoid Holmes' good right hand. It's not a great, strong right hand, but it's a good, straight and solid and accurate right hand, and Holmes hasn't been able to hit him very much with it. I thought Bey convincingly won that round, and it seems he's absolutely fearless in there as far as Holmes is concerned. Here we see when Holmes went down, Holmes was off balance. Obviously not a knockdown. And here later in the round, Bey coming in, and there was a solid right hand, a big sweeping right hand jug, as they call the curveball in baseball, right on the jaw of Holmes.
Kill that body.
They're telling Bey now to go for the body.
You got a good look at the swelling. It's actually alongside and a little bit underneath the left eye. It's not really the kind of thing that right at this moment would be any kind of a factor in the fight. Makings of a good fight here. Holmes now up tempo to start this round.
Good shot, good body shot by Bey.
Very good right hand, right to the ribs.
Larry's finding it difficult to find a target with that right hand.
Bey doesn't look like he would be any kind of a secret, but he has made Larry Holmes miss.
Well, he's starting to move his upper body. And as big a man as he is, he's doing a pretty good job.
Right hand by Larry Holmes, short right hand, got in, but that was a good shot by Holmes, and Bey didn't take a backward step. Swelling still there under the eye of David Bey. Holmes trying to make use of that jab with only a modicum of success so far.
Larry wants to throw a right hand, but he knows that Bey's right hand is cocked also, anticipating.
Well, Bey has gotten Larry Holmes' attention on a couple of occasions, and so Holmes has got to show a little bit of respect. Good combination by Holmes, a wild left hand. In Holmes' corner, they continue to yell Everlast, and as we mentioned in a couple of other Larry Holmes fights that we've done here on HBO, that usually is a signal for their fighter to go for the body.
And again, the body is a big target, and you just can't move the body like you can the head. Seeing something quite unusual in David Bey, starting to move around. Now for the overhand right to Larry.
And it's there for him. He went downstairs. Pretty good shot to the heart that time.
Step up, step up, step up.
I was surprised that Larry went to the body with that right hand.
Combination by Bey. Good counter punch by Holmes, and that stunned Bey.
When Larry throws his punches, Bey fires right back. I think that's making Larry cautious.
Larry's now starting to come up with his punches, a little bit more of an uppercut rather than that straight right hand that is the Holmes trademark.
Another surprising round in that Bey is not being as forceful as expected, showing some boxing ability, making Holmes lead.
Keep going to him, champ. You gotta keep going to him. He can't do anything when you're backing him up. When he steps back, you step in. Keep that punching. He wants a lot of punching room. Don't give it to him.
He's starting to tire now. Now you got to keep on him.
You got to be there, champ. You got to be there. You work on it all the time. You work on it all the time. You're the boss then. You're the champ, right?
Body too. Bang, 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 bang. You're finishing up. He's finishing up with a right hand. With the right uppercut. You finish up with a right hand on top. You understand?
The right hand is cold. It'll be easier.
I know it. Now, also, here on the back of my hand.
Yes, all right. Wipe this hard off. Right? You know what you need to do, Big Jack? Come on, we do it all day in the gym. Come on, knock him out here. You get him in the corner. Hook him across him. Right? Big Jack, just do it.
Both corners seem to be very happy at the progress of the fight up to this point. David Bey has survived the first third of the fight. Let's see if age does indeed begin to tell on Larry Holmes.
And in Holmes' corner, they're saying you got to be right on him. You got to keep him working. In Bey's corner, they were saying he's starting to get tired. They were saying, Ray, that David Bey should come over Larry Holmes' right uppercuts with his own right hand.
Well, normally when you throw a right uppercut, especially if it's from a distance, good left hook by Bey. From a distance, you're susceptible to take a right hand because your chin is open.
Bey ducks under. Bey showing a very good ability just to slip punches here. Duck under punches a lot quicker in his upper body than he appears to be.
Bey has that left hook. It's like a whip. And it's very effective, very strong.
Both these men, remember, undefeated as professionals. Larry Holmes in 46 fights, David Bey in only 14, but nary a loss between them. Neither man is cut. The only mark really is the slight swelling, a little bit of red chafing under the eye of David Bey. There was some swelling a little bit earlier under the left eye of Larry Holmes. It does not appear to be any worse. Good shot there.
That's what Larry has to do. Make Bey commit such a mistake by those wild punches, moving right hand, and then capitalize on it. He has a counter.
Okay, bring it up. Step up, step up.
But it also makes you think twice when a guy possesses so much power in both hands.
Okay. Bey winds up with that right hand. 1 minute left. Bey perhaps taking a little bit of a breather here in this round.
Well, he's toying with that left hand of his and just keeping Larry at distance.
And Holmes doing what his corner exhorted him to do, and that is keep him busy, stay on top of him.
I like that combination just now by Larry Holmes. Didn't really land clean, but the fact he's trying something different now.
Combination mostly on the top of the head by Bey.
Bey threw a series of punches then. He went to Larry's body.
There was a good right hand. That might have been Bey's best shot, but Holmes didn't take a step back.
Bey hides that chin behind his shoulder. He keeps his cut very low.
Well, the old champion is
Two punches, Big
working hard.
You got to put them together, work them off. Up
When
and
Bey
down,
came
in
to
and
him,
over.
he stood and counterpunched. When Bey backed up, he went after him.
Cross work on the guy. Keep looking for that shot in the corner. It's got to be a short left hook. Step in fast with a short left hook and a quick right hand behind.
Put my arm, left arm.
Here's David Bey with his haymaker that landed in Phoenix someplace.
And make them hands move constantly. You got it? You got it?
Yeah.
Okay.
There you see how few punches David Bey is landing.
And the hands move.
He's
and
still
using
being a
those
little bit more resourceful and economical than we expected him to be, and perhaps that is to his own benefit. Perhaps he is Ray being a little too respectful of Larry Holmes.
And so we start the 7th round. We'll see now if David Bey really was just taking a breather in that round, which fighters often do they not, Ray?
Oh, for sure, especially when you exert yourself. But I don't know. I don't think he's really
Okay, bring it up.
respecting Larry too much because he started to get aggressive
Hold it,
at the
hold it.
beginning of each round. But I think a couple times he had a good opportunity and he blew it.
Okay, hold it, hold it.
This, of course, is the 7th round. We're going 15 here. So not yet at the halfway point of this fight.
Okay, hold it, hold it, hold it.
Both men might have taken the best shot of their opponent so far.
That's the best way to get a thumb in the eye because of the open glove of David Bey.
He was warned about that in the first round, remember, by Carlos Padilla. Holmes stalking David Bey.
That's the thing you do. That left jab, just keep talking. That's all he has to do.
Bey just looking for the one shot. Bey might be getting a little bit tired.
Well, Larry's starting to work his left jab more and more, and he's starting to double up on it. because that left jab, it leads up to everything. It sets your man up to the right hand, left hook, or whatever. Left jab is very important, Barry. A lot of fighters, they forget to use it.
Well, it's definitely what has brought Larry Holmes to his 46 victories without a defeat. It's been his primary weapon. The left jab has set it up, and the right hand more often than not has finished it off.
Beautiful right
hand right there.
That was a beautiful time right hand. Counter right hand.
This 7th round has never been of great success for the champion Larry Holmes. He has been staggered and in fact knocked down on a couple of occasions in the 7th round. Bombing right hand by David Bey, but it didn't appear to hurt Holmes.
What Larry's doing now, he's riding with the right hand. He's going with the flow of the punch. So he's taking the power away from him.
Bey still appears to be just looking for the, not so much the one punch, but the one punch that could stun Larry Holmes and then follow up on it. Biding his time. Holmes the busier of the two fighters.
That was a good round for Larry Holmes. I think it's fair to say now that he's outclassing David Bey, that Bey isn't doing enough to discombobulate him. I have Holmes well in front after 7 rounds.
You gotta put the pressure. Yeah. You're waiting on him too much, Jab. You're waiting too long. Jab, make him make the move, and then you counter punch on him. Don't just wait on him to make the move.
Stick that jab out there, Big Jack. Start off with it and finish with it. All right, and finish with it, Big Jack. Come on now. We want to work this fight. Come on now, work.
Now look at that percentage of
you bad, man. You want to be
success. That's almost 80% of the punches that Holmes threw in that round. Remember that earlier, before the fight, we pointed out he was landing 20 punches a round. When he won the title from Ken Norton 7 years ago, 20 punches a round. When he defeated Jerry Cooney and Bone Crusher Smith, he landed 20 punches out of 26 thrown in that round. Excuse me, those were 20 jabs in that round.
So we come to the 8th round, a fight that right now seems to be controlled by the champion Larry Holmes.
Larry's starting to get a rhythm now. Starting to feel very relaxed.
He may also realize that David Bey is not going to hurt him.
Well, David Bey has landed his best punch.
Okay, bring it up. Step up. Hold it. Step up. Okay, hold it. Step up.
Holmes still up on his toes, moving pretty good right at the moment. 46 fights, how much wear and tear on the 35-year-old body, nobody knows.
Well, that's the question that people want to see answered. Whether or not age is a factor with Larry Holmes. Whether or not he's taking a lot of shots. Larry states he hasn't taken that much punishment in the ring. So this fight here, whether it's his last fight or not, means a lot to him.
That swelling under David Bey's left eye now is a little bit worse. There's actually a puffiness all the way under the eye. It was alongside and below the eye before, and now it's getting very puffy and looks as though it could cut at any moment. It is below the eye, however, so blood will not get into the eye should that happen, but I'm sure it could be bothersome because the eye can start to close. That was the same eye that David Bey was cut on, under I should say, against Greg Page.
One thing about it, those 2 cuts that he suffered in the fight with Greg Page did not affect his performance. He stayed aggressive and he continued to throw a lot of punches.
Good right hand and Bey is down. Larry Holmes with a solid right hand. David Bey doesn't know where he is right now. He's got about 7 seconds to get it back together here. That was a stunning right hand.
Oh, we're talking history now. Larry, watch Larry go to work. Watch him go to work. Now this is where the experience comes in. Just a matter of time. He's out.
David Bey just trying to hold on for all he's worth here. Carlos Padilla trying to separate them.
His legs are gone. Larry's going to work that jab and get that right hand in.
It was a stunning right hand. There was another one. Holmes not wasting any punches. Bey just holding on. And he's got a long way to go. 30 seconds remaining.
Watch the right hand again, Barry.
Well, that's could be it. That could be it. And Bey doesn't know where he is. Padilla taking a close look. Still 20 seconds to go in the round. Bey trying to hold on. He's got nothing left. Just hoping to weather the storm. And he's down again. And the count goes on here. David Bey just trying to get through it. He says, yes, I know where I am. I'm not sure he's right. And he did manage to get through the round.
That right hand was beautiful. The way Larry Holmes just set his man up.
Come on, baby. Look at me. You all right?
Yeah, man.
Look at me. You all right?
I'm all right, Bobby.
What you done when I tell you about your hand?
Right.
I want your hand up. I don't want your hand down.
David.
Okay. You hear me? You know where you are. You got a blue corner line up there.
Let's take a look at this. Now Larry Holmes finally whipped the right across. There you saw a clean right hand. Bey was hurt, and the left hand just sort of pushed him over.
You understand? Hand up. Upper body is
There again later in the round, another right hand. Bey fighting back gallantly, although hurt and not knowing what state he's in. Crashes down, but he got up and weathered the storm. David Bey disarmed landmines in the Army, but he's finding it harder to disarm Larry Holmes here in Las Vegas.
Now experience will dominate.
And Bey starts this round on rubber legs. And Holmes, of course, knows it.
Oh, Larry's just picking his shots now. Again, the right hand will beat the punch that probably would do David Bey in.
Bey is still
To the body.
He's on licorice sticks right now. He's got no place to go and no place to hide. Crowd chanting, Larry, Larry.
You can see Larry setting his man up.
Only
to
a
the body.
question of time.
To the body. Watch straight to the head, Barry.
I think Bey knows it as much as Holmes knows it here. Larry was a little bit short with that right hand that time. Bey just trying to get life back in the legs. Easier said than done, isn't it, Ray?
It is, especially when you don't have that much experience. Bey did the right thing when he grabbed Larry and just held on. But see, at this stage now, this is when championship material comes in. All the experience, ring generalship, it comes into play.
Bey just trying to cover up, and Holmes still got through that with a good right hand.
Bey's reaching out, trying to give Larry the stiff jab. The mistake he's making, he's coming back. He's bringing that left jab back down.
Holmes just looks like he's just waiting for one shot here, waiting for the right opening. Doesn't want to waste anything.
What's going to happen? David Bey may regroup, but I doubt very seriously because I think Larry knows exactly what he's doing.
There's a good right-hand counterpunch by Larry Holmes to get Bey off him. Bey doesn't have much left.
Larry also knows that he can hurt David Bey. I think now he's just going to wear him down and make it easier because Bey is a strong guy, he's a big guy, so he's always dangerous. Larry's doing the right thing.
Bey pretty much stiff-legged right at the moment. Just like his legs don't want to follow his body.
You notice David Bey's punches are not that crisp anymore.
And Holmes continuing just to bide his time here, just playing a waiting game. And it appears only to be a question of time.
Cigar has yet to start his combinations again. And I think Carlos Padilla is keeping a close eye on David Bey.
Crowd really in support of Larry Holmes. In fact, as supportive as I can remember them being here in Las Vegas of the champion.
Bey now is starting to regain his strength. I just knew it was over.
Bey may have his legs back, but he's a tired fighter right now. All the starch seemed to go out in the 8th round. There was a good right hand by Larry Holmes. And another good right hand at the bell.
You have to give David Bey credit for surviving that round, for showing his courage. That's what got him here. His size, his courage, his discipline. Not his talent, obviously.
You gotta stretch it out and work on it. Huh? Your left hand up. I want it up. I want it up. I don't want your left hand down.
All right.
You understand? And when you're there, when you're moving towards him, don't move towards him with your hand down. Hand up. Then you start to bang him. He's got body in here, body in here. Run your hand.
Close your eyes.
You understand what I'm saying?
All right, Big Jack.
Come on. Take a big push up. Push up on my stomach.
Push up.
Push up.
All right, Big Jack. Go out there and work it. Go out there and work it. Go work it off.
Now's more important than any part. These rounds are most important.
Larry Holmes may not have an elephant gun, but he's got a machine gun and he still has a lot of bullets left in it.
And so we start the 10th round.
I didn't think that Bey could be grouped as fast as he did. He was seriously hurt.
He was pretty lucid in his corner here between rounds, but whether or not he's got anything left remains to be seen. Started off with a combination, but didn't really hurt Holmes with it. There's a right hand by Holmes. Backs Bey right off him again.
There's a left jab, Larry Holmes back to the body. Now let's get this rhythm again. Bey now just trying to throw one punch.
And he's proven to Holmes before that he can't do it with one punch. Holmes just doing a workman-like job here. It's just like a day at the beach.
Well, he's flat-footed, and that's power. He's come down off his toes now. I think now he wants to get this fight over with. When you slow down, when you get flat-footed, that's when your leverage really comes into play. And he should be down on his flat on his feet, because I think at this stage here, he should be able to control and dominate this fight. The late rounds are always Larry Holmes' round. This is when you cut the ring off also, Barry.
Holmes is just not trying to waste any shots. He's just kind of, looks to me like he's just taking his time, just biding his time. He knows he's got his man beat. He doesn't want to get careless. He knows he's in there against the strong guy. The best word that comes to mind is workmanlike. He's just getting it done.
And he's not moving too far back now. You'll notice that. He's not moving too far back when Bey throws his punches. He's just standing there. And he's stepping in, and Bey's punches are starting to hit him around the back of the head. There's the left jab back to the body.
Holmes a very high percentage. There's a right hand. That could be the beginning of the end. Now let's see if Larry Holmes just tries to find one more shot. He's got his man hurt again. There's a combination. Bey looking for a place to fall down here. And Holmes may need one more. Holmes is on top of David Bey. Bey trying to grab on. Larry Holmes won't let him.
Now we see some combination. A lot of punches thrown by Larry.
And this one is over. Carlos Padilla says enough is enough. And Larry Holmes has retained his heavyweight championship. Chalk up number 47.
Larry fought a very, very smart fight. He took his time. He was hurt in the early rounds, came back, kept his head, and then dominated.
Can't argue the fact that Larry Holmes has fought anybody who wants to step into the ring with him. He's fought everybody there is. The question is, what is there?
Well, I think everyone now is just curious to see what Larry Holmes is going to do after his victory.
Well, it would not be the first retirement announcement that Larry Holmes has made. He's made one to me on about 8 different occasions, as a matter of fact. And he has said publicly, this will be it, this will be the last one, but you still have to feel, he always feels himself, that he has another hill to climb.
Well, the fact of the matter is, Barry, what could possibly drive him is to surpass the record of Rocky Marciano.
Let's take a look then at what was the punch that really started him going. And it was a really solid right hand.
Well, the right hand was the key punch and the most effective and devastating punch that Larry Holmes was able to land on David Bey. Here he works his jab, and Bey's just basically just falling apart here.
At that point, Bey had no legs left. He was really almost looking for a place to fall down or at least hold on to Larry Holmes, as he tried to do right there.
Well, the uppercuts were doing a pretty good job, and that looping right hand.
You know, I think there might be those who might criticize Larry Holmes for not really going after him when he had him hurt seriously earlier, as we take a look once more at the end of the end, if you will. And Larry Holmes, just a barrage of punches, getting his man in the corner. Carlos Padilla will come into your picture in just a moment. He's behind Larry Holmes now, taking a good look. You can see him right in the corner of your screen, and he will step in a moment and say, that's it, this one is over. As David Bey, really unable to fight back, just try to defend himself as best he could. Holmes opened him up right there. Still, Padilla looking in very closely, and one more right hand, and Carlos Padilla says that's it, this one is all over. So Larry Holmes makes it 47 straight. What I started to say before is that I really do feel that Holmes was in a position of, I don't want to waste any punches. I know I got the guy. When I feel I really have him hurt, then I'll go after him, and that's what he did.
Well, that is the answer for the guys that say, you know, why didn't Larry finish him off sooner when he had him hurt? David Bey remained a dangerous fighter. Quite naturally, he possessed a big punch, and Larry did the right thing.
Holmes did have him hurt early and did look as though he could put his man away, but he didn't want to be careless. There's a good look at the left eye of David Bey. Not anything that really had a profound effect on the fight at all, but as the fight went on, you had the feeling that eye could have very seriously been swollen, and that would have affected the fight. Then he would not see the right hand, of course, of Larry Holmes coming.
Well, Bey did put up a gallant showing. He displayed a lot of heart, but experience, I feel, was a key factor and played a major role in the outcome of this fight.
Larry Merchant trying to make his way into the entourage of Larry Holmes. A lot of people around the champion as he looks on. Doesn't look particularly winded. Looked to me, as a matter of fact, like he could have easily gone to 15 rounds. He did seem very fit.
Well, Larry trained for this fight because he knew what he was facing in David Bey.
All right, right now, let's go up to the ring announcer. Chuck Hull will get the official decision. Chuck.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Carlos Padilla stops the bout at 2 minutes, 58 seconds of the 10th round. The winner by a TKO and still undefeated IBF heavyweight champion of the world, Larry Holmes.
All right, right now, let's go to our own Larry Merchant, who is with the champion, Larry Holmes.
Larry, congratulations. It seems that you've opened...
First, I'd like to say something. First, I'd like to say hi to my mom back home. Hi to my daughters, Mr. Melissa and Belinda. Hi, everybody at Larry Holmes Commodore in. Larry Holmes round one. Then Larry Holmes, John Henry's restaurant. I hope you're doing a good job back there, Jack, because we need the money, because this is it.
This is it. First, let's get to the fight. You've often said you don't want to fight any big, strong guys anymore. Did this guy give you any worry at all?
Yeah, because he's no style. Very awkward dog fighter. You know, very strong and determined. Wanted to prove that he was worthy at 14 fights.
He hurt you, it seemed, early in the fight. What did you do after that?
He didn't hurt me bad. He hit me with a good shot. Kind of surprised me a little bit. And I knew what I had to do. Stay there in the middle and wear him down.
Were you surprised he wasn't as reckless as you thought he might be, that he tried to box you and make you lead?
No, he was reckless, Larry. He was very reckless. That's why it took me as long as it did to get to him. A boxer with right hands, left jabs, and whatnot, they're fighters that I can take. But this guy was throwing any old punch like Bone Crusher Smith. You didn't know where he was coming from, so it made him a good fighter.
All right, you said this is it. Now, you've often said this was your last fight 5 or 6 times. You give us your interpretation now of what this is it means.
This is it means I retire. If I don't get an offer from Michael Spinks by end of April, I retire. That offer got to come from Michael Spinks at a reasonable amount of $4 million. Or Jerry Cooney for $25 million. I don't need the money anymore.
Aren't you pricing yourself out and in effect retiring when you ask for that kind of money from those fighters?
Oh yeah, I am. And you know, I'm looking forward to my retirement on June the 9th. I fought a lot, and I'm really looking forward to retiring. But if somebody's crazy enough to come with $3 to $4 million for a lightweight like the winner of Hagler and Hearns, or the winner of anybody lighter than a heavyweight, I'll retire.
Thank you, Larry. And now back to Ray and Barry.
Okay, thank you very much, and congratulations. And that I would interpret, just to go through all of that and interpret it, I would say he hasn't retired.
Well, I would fight guys at flyweights and light flyweights. I would fight. I'd love to. I would never retire.
All right, I personally, and I think Larry Holmes also saying, as we get Ollie Dunlap's arm into that. Ollie's always wanted to get on television here. He, of course, is Ray Leonard's road manager. Now he's going to ask for bigger bucks, too. But speaking of asking for bigger bucks, that's exactly what the champion seems to be doing right now. He seems to be looking for the big fight, and you have to feel that there will be more from Larry Holmes.
For sure. I think Larry's going to exist as long as he still has the same spirit and the competitive fight.
In one word, give me your evaluation of Larry Holmes tonight.
Great.
That was easy enough.